If you'd spent more than half your life believing you'd been cheated out of a dream life abroad, how would you go about finally making it happen? Especially if it meant convincing your partner to step into the unknown and start again on the other side of the world. Kirsty Etherington's been dreaming of Australia since devastating circumstances stopped her family moving there when she was 13.
When I found out my mum had cancer, it was heartbreaking.
Now she's desperate to convince partner Chris the country offers son Louis a better future.
I just want better for Louis.
Yeah, we both do.
But when a trial week down under opens his eyes to the possibilities...
Can I say 10 out of 10 already? This is like the nicest house I've ever been in. Why wouldn't anyone want to come and live in a place like this?
Will the reality of taking Louis away from family force Chris to call time on Kirsty's dream?
It hits you in the guts. And it's just a really hard decision to make.
Ever since the first British settlers arrived in Botany Bay in the late 1700s, Australia's been deemed a land of opportunity. Today, the promise of greater work opportunities, a chilled-out lifestyle and gorgeous weather continues to attract, and British people currently account for the largest portion of the country's 6 million residents originally born overseas. Kirsty Etherington has dreamt of living in Australia from the tender age of 13, when her family's plans to emigrate were called off after her mum was diagnosed with cancer. Now a mum herself, Kirsty's desperate to persuade partner Chris to give their son Louis the life she believes she missed out on. But with Chris dead set against the idea, will a week down under be enough to bring him on board? The week gets underway with an arduous 19 hours in the air flying from London to Perth via Singapore. It's 14 years since Kirsty last made the journey to stay with relatives. Now, with her feet finally back on Australian ground, she admits the trip's taken her by surprise.
The flight seemed a lot longer than what I remember this time round. I'm absolutely knackered.
On the plus side, Chris hasn't been put off.
Wasn't as bad as I thought. I was a little bit worried about how Louis was going to deal with it, to be fair. And that was more what I was focused on. But to be honest, he was a good boy.
But after a lifetime dreaming about being back, Kirsty admits the experience is overwhelming.
I know we've just been on a flight for nearly 22 hours, but the distance hasn't kind of sunk in just yet. It's all a bit surreal at the moment.
Kirsty will need to find her feet fast if she's to succeed in persuading Chris to buy into her hopes for their future life together. Back in the UK, Chris Peat lives with partner Kirsty Etherington and their 2-year-old son Louis in a rented house in Yateley in Hampshire. The couple have been together for 4 years, and since day one, Kirsty's desire to move to the other side of the world has been a constant talking point.
It's my dream to go to Australia. I've kind of forced it on Chris, really.
The day I met Kirsty was the first time I ever heard about Australia. Yeah, it was, I'm a nurse and I want to move and live in Australia. And I said, well, I'm a plumber, I could come with you.
Kirsty's obsession with the country shows no sign of letting up.
I go on about it all the time. It's what I think about during the day. Even when I'm at work, I think I could be nursing in Australia.
You've even got a scrapbook one of your friends has made for you with a big picture of Australia going, my dream is to live here.
Her determination to make Australia her home stems back to childhood. After several holidays there, Kirsty's parents decided to emigrate when she was 13. But the move was called off when her mum was diagnosed with breast cancer.
That was heartbreaking. When I found out my mum had cancer, it was heartbreaking. Sorry. So, you know, have all that treatment and everything was not nice. And my mum so wanted to move out to Australia because her sisters are there. It was heartbreaking for her because she knew that she wouldn't be able to go. And she knew how much my sister and I wanted it.
Fortunately, her mum recovered, but the dream to go back to Australia has never left Kirsty. Now a mum herself, she thinks moving would help Chris and her address the poor work-life balance they have in the UK.
Sometimes we're like passing ships in the night. You know, I'll come back from work, Chris has been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, we sort of sit down, have dinner and we're asleep.
I work every other weekend, so we don't spend a lot of time together as a family.
The only thing standing in Kirsty's way is Chris, and knowing he's desperate to extend their family, she's even resorted to emotional blackmail.
The deal was that if we were to have another baby, it wouldn't be in this country, it wouldn't be in the UK, it would be out in Australia.
It's a good way to...
Manipulative, aren't I?
Yeah. Just saying.
Chris has a list of practical concerns about moving to the other side of the world.
A little bit worried about the finances, obviously, because we don't really have much to our name, to be honest. We rent this place and we've got a couple of cars that aren't in the best of nick. I know I'm a typical English man. I don't do well with heat.
I think one of the first things that Chris said to me when I said about moving, moving out to Australia, was like, I've got big spiders out there.
Some of the big ones I see in this country, I think, wow, that's quite big. Good job it can't bite me.
Joking aside, the single biggest reason Chris wants to stay put is the thought of taking Louis away from his nana and other family members who live nearby.
Louis is our only grandchild, and why would I want to take that away from her? You know, it's a really big decision. Louis would have a better life in Australia. You know, I can imagine the better weather, being outside. But what he gains there and what he'd lose in not having his immediate family around, I think would affect him massively, to be honest.
Kirsty has her own fears about leaving her family in the UK.
I would miss them a lot. I would just miss my mum, my sister, terribly. We went. But I've got to do what's best for Louis and what's best for Chris and what's best for me and my family.
It's an emotionally charged situation, but the family have reached a crossroads. Do they commit to their life in the UK or follow Kirsty's dreams back to Australia?
Surely something as big as this, you've got to be 99.9% sure that it's the right move.
Australia has to fit everything and more. I think I really have to sell it to him. Otherwise, he's just not even going to consider going. He's literally got to tick all the boxes.
Kirsty's praying that a week sampling Perth in Western Australia will be enough to persuade Chris to make the move. Their base for the week is a 3-bedroom house in the rapidly growing suburb of Butler. Will Australian living be as Kirsty remembers?
I like that.
Bigger than our house at home.
Yeah.
And inside looks good too.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Look how big it is in here.
Oh, my days.
Despite reservations about moving to Australia, Chris seems pretty impressed.
Can I say 10 out of 10 already?
Oh, God's
Hey?
that really,
I know.
actually.
This is incredible.
The house has surpassed Kirsty's expectations.
I actually say there's nothing I don't like. I love it all.
And even in the dark, the garden's a big hit too.
Oh my days.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
The hot tub outside is impressive by anyone's standards.
Oh my gosh, the benefits of living in Australia. You can have one of these in your garden. It's like a bigger smiles on my face. This is brilliant. This is
I
like
knew you'd like that.
brilliant.
It's clear for Kirsty the long wait to get back down under has been worthwhile.
I've been waiting like 14 years to come back here, and I just feel just a mixture of emotions. Yeah, so happy.
As they make themselves at home, Kirsty's encouraged by Chris's excitement so far.
He's been smiling quite a lot, so I think I'm sort of winning a little bit, I think.
Chris is well prepared for what lies ahead.
There's no respite when Australia is concerned with Kirsty. It's the hard sell or no sell.
But despite a positive initial reaction, the distance from home is starting to kick in.
You're not a stone's throw away. It's, you know, it's even going to be difficult to pick up the phone because you're in different time zones.
Kirsty's pinning all her hopes on the next 7 days. And with the excitement of arriving over, the pressure's on for both her and Chris.
If I don't get the questions answered that I need answering, then, you know, there's always going to be that element of doubt.
Our whole lives, our future happiness is hanging on whether this week's going to persuade Chris to want to move out here.
Back in the UK, Kirsty and Chris rent a 2-bedroom house in the village of Yateley in Hampshire.
We previously lived in a small flat, but we moved into a house because we needed the space. We have obviously room for Louis and a room for Chris and I, and then we have this living space here and we have a kitchen.
The couple's budget for renting a home in Australia is around £1,300 per month, and Kirsty knows exactly what she wants.
It would have 3 bedrooms and, more importantly, a dining area, a nice living space, a swimming pool, of course, close to the beach, and the garden space for Louis to play in.
But if he was to make the move, Chris would be less demanding.
As long as I've got patio to put my barbecue on, no grass for bugs to live. No, I'm just joking.
But one thing he's certain of is that any house in Australia will have to be big enough to accommodate a growing family.
If we come to Australia, we're having another child. That was the deal.
To find out what kind of house they could actually have in Australia, today we'll show Chris and Kirsty 3 properties, 2 on budget and a third which could be their dream home. Only after they've seen each one will they find out its value. For their first viewing, the family head 25 miles north of Perth to Alkimos. Close to beaches, this brand new suburb still under construction, but with plans for parks, playgrounds and schools, it could be perfect for young families. But will this house be the one to sell Australian living to Chris?
Right, there's quite a lot of building work going on over here.
Hopefully inside will be better.
Right, let's have a look at what we've got in here. Oh, wow.
I like this.
This isn't as open plan as the accommodation.
Straight away, Chris finds fault with the sleeping arrangements.
I don't know how much I like having the master bedroom at the front door, though.
Kind of something you have to kind of live with, isn't it, really? Something you have to
really?
adjust to.
What, is that a rule for Australia, is it? Every master bedroom's got to be at the front door? I don't know how I feel about that, really.
Determined to keep it light, Kirsty shifts Chris's attention to the ensuite.
Lovely. Fits my taste.
It's Australia, I think it just suit your taste anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
Chris isn't falling for Kirsty's sales pitch so far, but discovering a space for Louis does make him smile.
Oh, wow, look at this.
Oh, brilliant.
This is like a playroom. This is awesome.
2 more bedrooms also score points.
This is a little girls' room.
So, look, so you've got maybe the boys' room, the girls' room and the play area.
Children's area together. I love that.
But does Chris?
I'm not in love with it, but I definitely like it, and it's, you know, it's different to what we got at home. I could sort of see myself living in a place like this.
And they haven't seen the half of it yet.
Wow.
So this is the bigger living area then?
There's another living area. The whole kitchen living area seems to be how it works in Australia.
This house is matching Kirsty's memories of Australian living, but a wander into the garden changes everything.
Oh dear.
Well, this isn't very big, is it?
Oh, how disappointing.
Right.
This is a really small garden.
It's not the garden Kirsty based her dreams on.
I'm really actually gutted. I'm really gutted because I loved the rest of the house.
Yeah.
And then to come out here and there be no garden, I'm really disappointed.
It's not the ideal finish, but could they afford a house like this?
Our budget is,
Our
what,
budget's
£1,300 a month?
1,200 to 1,300 a month, so
That's English pounds.
I would say probably about £1,500.
Okay, so I would say about I'm saying just over, about 1,350. Are we ready then?
Okay, Louis, you going to turn over the card for Mummy? Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it's £990 a month. Okay. So
I'm gobsmacked.
I'm actually really shocked because I was expecting it to be
That's
a lot
got
more.
to be because of the construction and the small garden, isn't it?
I'm really pleased. Really, really pleased actually.
£310 below budget is a great result which could certainly help Kirsty sell the merits of a life down under. So will the next house offer extra outside space at a price they can still afford? To find out, the couple moved to the coastal suburb of Kinross. More established and boasting beaches, parks, shopping and schools, this area should be perfect for the family. But will this 4-bedroom bungalow match Kirsty's expectations, inside and out?
Like the area, it's quite... There's no
So,
building
yeah.
work going on either, which
So
is
you've got
good.
another bungalow though, isn't it?
Hopefully that won't be an issue.
Right, so this is a bit more like home, isn't it?
But the interiors aren't as modern as the last house.
I don't know if I like this one straight away. Just like I did the other one. I was quite wowed with the other one. I'm not wowed with this one.
And Chris spots a familiar flaw.
Master bedroom by the front door.
Yeah. I do like this room though.
The main bathroom's interesting.
It's nice. Oh,
Is it nice? I don't know.
No. I don't like it. No, I don't really like
Well,
the
this is the
bathroom.
children's bathroom, isn't it?
Kirsty's chances of convincing Chris Aussie livings for him could be slipping.
If I was going to move, I'd have to move for something that's going to give me that sort of wow.
Factor, okay.
And I haven't had it so far from this property.
Even with the dining area they want, Kirsty reluctantly agrees Chris has a point.
Still feels kind of a bit claustrophobic. Doesn't feel that open, doesn't feel that modern.
And the kitchen leaves them both cold.
I don't know, it doesn't
feels really dated.
Not ticking the boxes for me.
The traditional decor's definitely not for them, but hopefully what lies outside is.
Louis, look! What's that?
That swimming pool.
Can you see?
Wow.
Complete with its own pool, this garden knocks the last one out of the water. And triggering childhood memories, it reminds Kirsty of what she wants for Louis.
Seeing him running around the garden and splashing about in his pool just makes me realise this, you know, this is definitely what I want, and I really want to hope that you want it too. So if we can find the right house.
It's affordable.
Chris isn't committing to anything yet, but back inside he agrees the pool has bathed the house in a more positive light.
Everything seems to look a little bit nicer in here now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now the outside.
Unlike the last property, outside's proved a real selling point, but with £1,300 for rent every month, can the couple afford a place with the pool?
I'm thinking maybe 14 to 15.
I'd say about
a month.
£1,700 a month. Turn it over. Oh, wow.
That is bang on the budget.
Yeah. I'm actually gobsmacked. It was everything I wanted for Louis, which is what I had when I was younger.
Awesome, I'm chuffed.
I'm happy as well.
The day is going better than Kirsty had dared hope, and there's still one more property to view. Moving 25 miles north of central Perth, we found what we believe could be the family's dream home in the suburb of Quinns Rocks. Close to schools, playgrounds and beaches, the area has everything the family could need. Hopefully the house will be a winner.
Wow.
You've arrived to your palace, Queen.
Inside's pretty grand too.
Wow.
Wow.
What a front reception room.
I'm actually speechless.
And finally, a house that doesn't have bedrooms on the other side of the front door.
Not a master bedroom.
No master bedroom. Wow. I'm excited if this is what it's like when we've just stepped in.
This house has the wow factor, and the modern open-plan living area offers the family all the space they could need.
Oh my God.
God, this room is bigger than our house.
Look at the size of the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't think I'd change this one.
Chris sounds smitten.
It's like the nicest house I've ever been in.
Got that breakfast bar as well. This is exactly what I had in my mind.
Well, touche, because this is really, really nice.
This house is helping Kirsty picture her vision of her family's future.
This is the dream. This is what I want.
And Louis knows what he wants too.
Let's go outside.
The garden's well worth a look. With space for Louis to play and a swimming pool, what more could the family ask for?
It's not a lot of grass, but who needs grass?
When you've got a swimming pool, he's got so much playing space,
Yeah.
hasn't he? I'm gobsmacked.
It's more than lived up to Kirsty's expectations.
That is perfect.
Wow.
That is absolutely perfect. Do you like the swimming pool, Louis? Yeah. Do you want a swimming pool?
Yeah.
Back inside, Chris is eager to see what's upstairs.
Can't believe I'm saying let's go upstairs.
So there's like another living space.
Yeah, like upstairs chill-out room.
Oh my gosh.
And the piece de resistance, a master bedroom fit for fairy tales.
This is the queen of the castle, hey? No, don't even tell me you can see the ocean from here as well. Wow.
Oh wow. Oh.
Wow. What a bedroom.
The house has garnered a great reaction from Kirsty and Chris.
From the moment I left here 14 years ago, this is the kind of house I wanted to live in.
But will the price put Kirsty's dream out of reach? With £1,300 to spend on rent every month, it's time to find out.
I think the price for this property is about £2,400.
I'd say £2,000, I think, maybe. So how much is it, Louis?
How much? £1,700.
£1,700 a month. Wow.
I feel totally overwhelmed, actually. I feel really quite emotional, actually. It's a long time that I've wanted to come back here and see if I could live here, and it's everything I've seen so far, you know, is making it more of a possibility and not so much of a dream anymore.
I can't really fault a lot of it at the moment. Why wouldn't anyone want to come and live in a place like this?
Despite ending in tears, house hunting's been a joy for Kirsty and Chris. Property One had everything they needed inside, but the tiny garden left Kirsty deflated until she discovered it was over £300 under budget. Property Two failed to deliver the modern interiors the couple prefer, but finding the garden with a pool brought back happy memories for Kirsty. But the final property was the real jewel in the crown, and at just £400 over budget, it was something to aspire to. The day has definitely reinforced Kirsty's dream, but has it done enough to help her persuade Chris to choose property in Australia over the UK?
After seeing all the properties today, it's time for us to vote.
Australia!
Australia.
Australia's earlier, man. Well done.
Brilliant. Yes, all agreed then.
For the amount of money we can spend and what we can get over here,
Compared to what we can in the UK, yes.
You'd be foolish not to, really.
Yeah.
Chris's vote for Australia's a great result for Kirsty, edging her a step closer to the life she desperately wants. But with both the couple sold on the dream home, Kirsty knows her hopes could grind to a halt if the couple can't find jobs paying the salaries they need. At home, Kirsty's a registered nurse currently working in a prison hospital.
I do enjoy my job, but it's just extremely stressful because of the kind of environment that I work in.
Chris joined the company he works for 10 years ago as an apprentice and is now a qualified gas heating engineer.
This isn't your run-of-the-mill sort of domestic pipe work, you know. This is, you know, more industrial and commercial environment.
If they move to Australia, Kirsty knows exactly what she'd like from her job.
Better hours, better pay, more support, actually, and out of the prison environment.
But Chris is much less certain about his work prospects.
She can go and work in a hospital. There's plenty of hospitals, but is there always going to be a place like this where I can work? So it's definitely important that the right job is out there for me.
Kirsty's praying Chris will get the answers he needs today.
If he doesn't get the right job, then we might as well forget about it.
While Chris has his own fears.
Am I going to turn up and I've got to retrain and I've got to take a step back? And, you know, that would really be a bit of a disappointing day for me.
Kirsty's visiting the A&E department at the Joondalup Health Campus, where she meets nurse manager Vanessa Tran.
I qualified a year ago. Would there be opportunities for me with my level of experience?
When I look at people's CV, I generally look for at least 3 years' experience in an emergency setting, if this is the area they want to go for.
Yeah, so a bit more experience, yeah.
It's not the news Kirsty was wanting. Hopefully things will be better for Chris.
Good afternoon, I'm Chris.
He's meeting Kevin Stewart, who owns a mechanical services company specialising in refrigeration and air conditioning.
Do you feel there'd be a scope for me to get employed over in Western Australia?
Well, the basic concept of what you've got, I call it as a gas fitter.
Yeah.
And there's no direct job in West Australia as a gas fitter.
Right.
We don't have that category because we don't have gas heating as a form of heating. West Australia has more cooling, so everything's based on cooling.
It's the worst possible news, but surely there's something Chris could turn his skills to.
You've got some of the skill sets that's required as a refrigeration mechanic.
Yeah.
Refrigeration mechanics are in short supply in Australia. and in WA they're extremely short supply.
That's more encouraging, until Chris realises qualifying for a job as a refrigeration mechanic means retraining.
It's a 4-year course from start to finish, but I would believe that you'd probably fast-track it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you'd get out some pipe skills and maybe able to fast-track it for 2.5 years.
Chris's biggest fear was having to retrain. This could have a devastating effect on Kirsty's plans. On the plus side, back at the hospital, she's assured that with more experience, she could easily find work.
Absolutely. I would confidently say 8 out of 10 nurses here are from the UK.
Okay.
I'm surrounded by nurses from the UK.
With a poor work-life balance at home, Kirsty's keen to know if this could improve in Australia.
What are the shifts?
Oh, we have all sorts of hours. 4-hour shifts, 6-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts to suit everybody's needs.
That's really great.
Again, it's encouraging news. All Kirsty needs to know now is how the money compares.
So generally for a registered nurse, it works out to be approximately 60,000 Australian dollars per year.
Okay.
£35,300.
If I was working in a hospital, I'd be earning £21,000, so that is significantly more than what I would earn.
Kirsty could almost double her salary. It's the biggest incentive yet for working towards a career in Perth.
I'm a bit disheartened the fact that I need a little bit more experience, but you know, there has to be a compromise somewhere. If I can earn more money here in Australia, but it means I need more experience, then you know, I'm happy with that.
Meanwhile, discussing his options, it looks like the situation for Chris isn't as bad as initially feared. Kevin's explained that mature apprenticeships would enable him to work as a trades assistant while retraining.
What sort of salary do you think that would sort of get me?
I would say around $45,000 to $48,000, which would probably, your language, £27,000 to £28,000 a year.
Wow, I mean, that is only really a few grand less than what I'm making now as an advanced fitter.
And with some experience, Chris could stand to earn much more.
Good refrigeration mechanic would probably be on around $120,000, which in your language about £70,000.
Wow, where do I sign up?
There's no poor refrigeration mechanics in Australia.
The day's been filled with ups and downs, and when Kirsty and Chris reunite, she's keen to pepper her bad news with good.
One of the downsides is that I need to have a bit more experience, but the good thing with that is that when I do get experience and I can apply for a job, my starting salary would be about £35,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, which is really good.
Chris gets to the point with his news too.
I've got to retrain.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No. Okay, and how would you feel about, like, retraining?
To be brutally honest, I don't want to retrain, but you've got to take one step back maybe to take 10 steps forward.
With Kirsty needing more experience and Chris retraining, will the couple decide work in Australia's worth pursuing or stick with employment at home?
It's time for us to vote.
Australia.
Oh, you're in Australia?
Yeah, well, that's quite well paid apprentice, you know.
Yeah, brilliant. Up until this point, this is something I've been dreaming about, and it's almost like, you know, it's going to come true, hopefully.
Yeah.
Kirsty is delighted with how the week is working out so far. Chris's second vote for Australia is the clearest sign yet. Bit by bit, his resolve is being chipped away. Now she's hoping a day exploring the Antipodean lifestyle she remembers will take Chris another step in the right direction. Back in the UK, Kirsty and Chris's work life means family days out are a rarity. Making the most of some time together, the family head to the seaside city of Fremantle.
A big boat!
Yeah, it's a big boat.
Bye-bye, Captain.
Good boy.
The area is popular with tourists, and a walk along the main street takes Kirsty down memory lane.
It's nice around here.
Yeah,
I like this.
exactly how I remember it.
What do kangaroos do, Louis?
With so much to see, the family get a bird's eye view from the Skyview Ferris wheel.
Wow.
It's even more family orientated than what I remember.
Yeah.
Next, a trip to the park.
This is so much better than a park would be in the UK, isn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, they try, but they don't ever have anything like this, do they?
We just don't have the weather for it, do we?
Lou is taking Aussie living in his stride.
He's just loving the Australian lifestyle, and it's just so, I'm in awe of it. I love it.
Seeing how much fun Lou is having takes Kirsty back to her previous trips down under.
These are the kind of memories I had of my childhood, and this is the kind of memories I want Louis to have.
I
I just want better for Louis.
Yeah, we both do.
But Chris is torn between giving Louis the childhood Kirsty wants for him and being on the other side of the world from everyone he loves back home.
I'm in a predicament where I'm weighing up my son's future and his path in life for staying with my family and friends. And I'd say, just for being positive, it just hits you in the guts. And it's just a really hard decision to make.
It's a tough call. Determined to enjoy the day, the family go for a picnic, also enabling Chris to do some fishing. But despite the serene setting, there's tension in the air.
You seem like you enjoyed it today, but it's something like you're reserved about something.
Oh no, I'm just thinking. Yeah,
There's a lot to take in, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot to take in, you know. Taking the bear away from the family, you know.
Although the last 2 days have proved positive, it seems the distance from home's really kicked in with Chris.
If you could just pick up your life and put it here in Australia, that'd be perfect. But
Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't that be the best? If everyone could be here with us.
It's clear Kirsty's dream isn't in the bag yet, but has the day done enough to whet Chris's appetite for the Australian lifestyle?
Okay, it's on the boat.
Australia!
Great. I'm really pleased that we've all voted the same.
If we could have a weekend of just strolling around there every weekend, I mean, wow. I mean, why wouldn't I vote Australia?
Yeah, it's much better than the UK.
Notwithstanding Chris's conflicting emotions, the Australian lifestyle's proved a winner. But before Kirsty gets too carried away, the couple need to be convinced the move won't leave them out of pocket. While Louis takes a nap, they figure out how living costs in Australia compare with the UK. We've provided the financial facts, starting with their weekly food shop.
So milk's cheaper, so it's 13p cheaper.
Bananas, £2.40 more.
Wow, okay, we eat quite a few bananas, so...
Yeah, Louis eats quite a few bananas.
A bit disappointed that things are
Generally more expensive.
A quick tot-up of prices reveals how much they'll spend on groceries each week.
118.63.
Moving would mean spending nearly £15 more a week.
That's not too bad, but it depends on, you know, the other costs that we have.
So let's have a look at the big stuff.
The couple's calculations are based on rent for the second property they saw.
The council tax, 0 here in Australia. Wow.
I don't pay council tax.
So childcare.
So that's pretty much the same. That's a shame, isn't it?
It's a big blow. Kirsty was hoping childcare would be cheaper.
My other worry is, you know, if we were to have any other children, we'd have to pay childcare costs for them as well, and it would be more.
So how much more would the couple spend every month in Australia?
We're worse off by £152 and 7 pence per month.
No.
Yeah. So try not to get too down about it.
It's just more expensive, isn't it?
This could be where Kirsty's dream unravels. Taking into account their Australian salaries, Chris works out their overall finances down under.
With the press of this button, in Australia, we are better or worse off.
I actually don't want to know.
And we're better off by £392.93
Wow.
per month.
So even with things costing more, we're still better off. That's such a relief. Because I just really thought that was going to be...
Is that feeling gone, is it?
Yeah, I thought that was going to be it, you know. I thought we're not going to be able to afford to live here, so that's kind of where it ends, but we're going to be much better off.
Per year, the family would be almost £5,000 better off.
My mum will be over the moon. I mean, that we can earn so much more money here and we'd be financially better off. It just gives us more opportunities.
Yeah, you're all right. It just means a lot to you, doesn't it?
It does mean a lot to me.
Kirsty's dream survives another day, and as the couple prepare to choose between finances down under and the UK, the outcome seems certain.
Australia!
Are you voting Australia?
Well, no brainer, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Why wouldn't you want to live somewhere where you could have more disposable income? Enough said, really.
After a lifetime of longing, Kirsty's dream is almost within grasp, but for Chris, the greatest challenge lies ahead. Coming to terms with leaving loved ones in the UK. As they prepare to watch messages from family and friends, Kirsty knows the emotional cost of a move could completely cancel out any potential gains.
This is bound to be the hardest bit, isn't it, you know?
Everything's been going well so far, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's maybe gone too well so far, hasn't it? Good boy.
Good boy.
Hi, hello. How's it all going out there? I bet you're having a fantastic time.
Hi, Kirsty, Chris and Louis. As a family, they're really tight.
I think me and Christopher got closer over the years as he's got older. He's got a bit more mature.
He's turned into a wonderful dad, looking after the family, creating a family life for them all. And I think it's a wonderful achievement.
We're very proud of him.
Louis he's just amazing. I really, really love him. I'd do absolutely anything for him.
He is the most adorable little boy who seems to charm everybody.
Kirsty and I have been through a lot together, so we're more like best friends.
You know, she took on the mum role when I was really poorly, and then we sort of worked together to get through it, but it was a lot of 14. I mean, it was a lot for me, so I don't know how it must have been for Kirsty. And she was just wonderful, and to be quite honest, if I look back, I don't think I could have done it without her.
Australia is such a long way away. I think the split from Chris, Kirsty and Louis is just something that is, for a grandmother, is not something that you would want.
I just miss probably not seeing her every day. Or seeing my nephew.
I will miss you terribly if you decide to move. Whichever way you decide, I'm still here and I love you.
We do love you, we miss you, but we know you'll make the right decision.
And we'll support you all the way through. Okay, guys. Love you both. And love that boy even more.
I just want you to be happy and I want you to live your dreams, so please, I'll be fine. I've got a lot of support here. Don't worry about me. As I've always said to you, leave tomorrow behind, live for now, and live for the future.
How was that for you, babe?
Horrible. It's horrible.
That worse than you expected. The little man's brought everyone so much closer together, and I mean, it'd be a shame to move him away from everyone, really.
I thought it would be easier. I thought if something's the right decision, then watching that would be easier, if that makes sense. You know, went through a lot with my sister and my mum, and to leave them would just be
harder than you've imagined.
It's a long way away.
Seeing messages from home was heartbreaking, and ironically, it was Kirsty who was hit hardest, as she was forced to confront the reality of being on the other side of the world from her mum and sister. With her family's future at stake, will the life Kirsty so desperately wanted remain nothing more than a dream? From the age of 13, Kirsty's longed to be back in Australia, and the country's lived up to her childhood memories.
It's even better now that I've got my own family, and it's everything I've dreamed of.
The trial week's shown Chris the potential of a future far from home.
My eyes are definitely wide open now to what is here.
And given the couple the chance to see if the country would be a good fit for Louis.
He's absolutely loved it. I mean, he's just loves the outdoor lifestyle. His future, I think, lies here, not in the UK. It's just, he's got so much more opportunities for him, and he deserves it.
He's just such a lovely little boy, and this place would just suit him so well. It's such a no-brainer when you look at it like that. It's just, why wouldn't I want to give that sort of opportunity to the person I love most?
Yet despite everything Australia offers, Kirsty's been thrown by the reality of being so far from loved ones.
I do still have that horrible feeling that it's not right. And I would miss my family.
For Chris, it's the only unanswered question.
It's a long, long way away, and can we really bring ourselves to pull Louis out of this family? And, it's not like we're jetting over to Spain or whatnot. It's one of the toughest calls I'm ever going to have to make in my life, I think, really.
From the day they met 4 years ago, everything has been heading towards this moment, as the couple finally make the life-changing decision about where their future belongs.
After dreaming of the dream for 14 years, it's time for us to vote. Australia! That's like the best ever. The best feeling ever. That's brilliant. I'm so pleased.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard, isn't it? But it's the best thing for the little man by a long run. If it's going to be as it's made out to be, then you've got me all the way.
So you're sold?
I'm sold.
Yay!
Can I have another kid now?
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye, duckies.
With Chris bowled over by everything Australia could offer and deciding to put his own family first, Kirsty's finally achieved the fairy tale ending she's been dreaming of for herself and, more importantly, Louis. We wish them every happiness for their exciting new future, and we'll be listening out for the patter of tiny feet.
See what happened next for Chris, Kirsty and Louis by going online to the Wanted Down Under website. And this new series continues at 9:15 tomorrow. Later today at 11, Dominic Littlewood's on the trail of more crooks who'll get caught red-handed. Next, Homes Under the Hammer.